What is going on, ladies? This is Marcia here with another episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. Today, I have LSF member Spotlight, Tamika. Tamika and I, we're going to be talking about how she went from trainer to member.
So the big question is this. How were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are Lady Strong Fitness.
Tamika, how are you today?
I'm better than good.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So before we begin sharing your story about how you became a trainer and now a member, I want to talk more about you. So if you could tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from California, so I have done a lot of my growing literally south. So I left home like in 98 and never went back to go live again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was living in New Orleans, going to school there, getting my undergrad in business, accounting, administration. And I went back home for a little bit after Hurricane Katrina, actually, because the recovery was a little longer than everyone anticipated. And then I ended up like 8 months later in Dallas, Texas, which Texas is home because I have family that has roots back in Texas, and we actually own land. Learned of that like about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was living there, and then I went back to New Orleans, and I got tired of it, and I said never again. So I made Dallas home for about 10, 11 years and migrated here to Illinois.
Love it. So
person.
how long have you been in Illinois for now?
Literally a year last month.
Oh, wow. So when you moved to Illinois is when you found Lady Strong then, essentially. Like it was like you were moving and finding a home to work out in. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's exactly what was going on. So I call my significant other Sweet Face. So Sweet Face, he is already here for his profession of what he does. He's affiliated with the government. But the time where I believe it was November, I spent like a good 2 months before I initially moved. You know, just the last child graduated. Well, actually, I'm sorry, the oldest child graduated and went off to college. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to take about 2 months away from Dallas and I'm just going to be in another state. Let's do it. So, so I was here. I said, okay, I'm not teaching. I'm not in my classes. I need to do something for my body. I'm not happy. So I do what I do. I get nosy. And I went on Instagram and I started seeing a lot of trending algorithms for Lady Strong Fitness. And I'm like, okay, look at those women. And I said, okay, I'm loving all the positive affirmations. That's my jam.
Yes.
So then I was looking at the hours, how far away it was from where we are. And I'm like, oh, down the street around the corner, super cool Big Cheese. Great. That's only like 7-8 minutes.
Yes.
I literally made it a point that when I was going to initially transition here, that's where I was going to be. And I've been there ever since.
I love it. I love that. So what was it about Lady Strong that was promoted you to be like, man, this is for me. Like, this is what I need. Was there like a trigger or something that like led you to us? I'm curious because I hear different stories and I want to hear your story on what prompted you to want to come in.
Catering to women in a way that was very welcoming. Unfortunately, in Dallas, Texas in particular, the fitness community it could become very cliquish, and it's favoritism to some degree where the support is not there. This facility, I saw the encouragement. There's the support. There's a rainbow spectrum of people in there. Love that because I'm from Cali. That's what I'm accustomed to. You understand? Sure. So initially, that's what I was drawn to, just the catering to women and the emphasis on the movements. because that's what I had. I spent majority of my time as an instructor really teaching people about their movements and how overextending could be detrimental to the body. And you're dealing with people that just want to come in there, just have a good time and just leave. And you got to educate, because once you leave me, what if your body is telling you something different than the energy that you possessed in my class?
Yes.
We have to have a whole nother conversation. That's not something I want to deal with. So I love the fact that that is the first point of contention at Lady Strong Fitness, really making sure, honing into the workout that we're going to provide, what we're going to focus on, how you need to move, and understanding the capabilities of how your body is able to move.
100%. Yeah. Let's talk about that, because you can tell you have education just hearing you speak about fitness in general. Now, prior to us, now, mind you, for the listeners that are tuning in today, you weren't necessarily a trainer at Lady Strong. This was prior knowledge you had coming in at a different facility somewhere else. Now, little birdie told me that you have just received phenomenal results from that. So I want to talk about your journey and your story, what led you to, becoming a trainer and the results that you gotten, and now continuing on today. Let's talk about all of that.
Okay. Well, my own personal goals and results would be just the agility, the endurance, and muscle mass. Primarily, I was involved in a lot of cardio where at some point you start looking like a toothpick. That's not the business.
So true.
So I wanted to build up that mass and have more formality and allow that shape to just entice the sweet face. So the focus was more on the conditioning. That's what attracts me the most. I want to be able to not overextend myself, but I want to be able to accomplish being really engaged in strengthening components, but also allowing the body to do its natural healing and to shed the BMI, which is the body fat. So,
yep.
Yeah.
I like that. Girl, I've observed you from across the room when you come to the gym, and you work hard. You really do. You work hard, go hard. And I like that you put in your bio, coming in, now you're able to do like push-ups, and, as opposed to before, you're modified and on your knees. What led to that success? Share some secrets and tidbits to some ladies that are tuning in today, some good takeaways of what led to that strength that you built over the last year at Lady Strong.
I can definitely attest to the coaching. Definitely Paula and Emily, those two there, freaking Fred. They understand. Well, I can definitely say that they know my strength. Sure. And then they know my story, which is because I've opened my mouth. So for them, they really sneakily just encouraged to go a little more. But there are times where I feel some of that tension in the bone and I have to kind of scale it down a bit. But yeah, it's literally them too. Yeah. They know that they've seen the progression. Sure. And they're looking at the milestones that I'm hitting.
Yeah.
And so when we have those certain movements, let's go a little more. Let's do the one hand.
Yeah.
Let's bring your arms in a little bit more narrow. Let's not have them out too wide. Yep. Let's elevate on the upright of your body a little more. And just with the amount of attention and care that they provide, it definitely has elevated me to the point where I can do push-ups upright. I would give myself at least 10. Before I get tired, I need to get on the knees. And then now when I'm on my knees, I can go down all the way. I mean, it's awesome. Great form and everything. But yeah, it's like I'm trying to encourage my body to stay strong where I can utilize the upright position a lot more than just being on the knees. But it's a time and attendance thing. It's not something you can just jump in and do, because 100%. Also it has to do with the weight of your body as well. Like the upper portion of your body has to be able to hold all of that weight. So that's where you're learning that you're shedding, your nutrition is together.
Yeah.
And you can tell that that weight is becoming a bit more muscle, and you can go a bit more. You
Yeah.
can do another one.
Yeah. I love that. So shout out to Coach Emily and Coach Paula. So you mentioned something in there. You talked about milestones. What does your milestones look like for like the next 6 to 12 months? Just curious if you don't mind sharing that with the audience, because most people, they should have milestones, but they don't. They always have this, this end goal, but share your milestones and maybe how they can start either executing them or doing something along those lines. So if you don't mind sharing, what does that look like for you?
My milestones are shedding the BMI at least about 3% every 2 weeks. Realistically, that is accomplishable. For the purpose of obviously fitting into things more comfortably and being able to see more of the definition of the muscle mass of your body.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's the milestone for me. It's not about, oh, I want to be 120 pounds. Negative.com, that's not happening.
I love it.
Yeah, that's not happening. It's just,
it's realistic.
It's like realistic.
Yeah.
It's really for anybody when you are setting goals, whether they're personal, whether they're business, whatever it is, health and wellness, it needs to be realistic and it needs to be something that is attainable and achievable with a date.
100%.
Not just, oh, by the end of this year. Well, you're leaving yourself open because life is going to happen and you're going to have a lot of fluctuating and a lot of recalibrating where it's not going to be realistic. It's going to be impractical. Right. And you're already telling yourself before you're planning to fail.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So if you don't mind sharing, when was the last time you took an Inbody Scan? I'm just curious. Was it recently? Has it been recently?
That paper.
And you don't have to share your numbers. I'm just curious as to, because what I'd like to see, maybe we could revisit this conversation at a later date, just to see where you are. And I know some women that maybe are listening while you're looking at that, Tamika, that, they say they want these goals and they want them achievable and attainable, like you talked about, but they don't set those metrics and milestones to, collect the data to see what's going on inside your body so you understand exactly where you're at and then the trajectory and the direction you're trying to go. So my piece of advice is to get them done every 30 days. And if you're not, you're doing yourself a disservice because, again, you don't know what you don't know unless you get that Inbody Scan done. So has it been recently within the last 30 to 45 days?
October.
Okay.
October 27th.
Yeah. So girl, get in there and get it done. I'm curious to see and again, think about it. I know it's been the holidays, but a lot has happened since then, and I think you'd be surprised because I know you're consistent, which means that for sure, 100%, you've definitely got some changes, and I'd be curious to see what those changes are. So the next time I see you inside the studio, I'm going to ask you. So I'm going to hold you accountable. So be on the lookout for that. But I'd like to finish each episode with a question for anyone that's tuning in today. Is there any advice that you may have for them? This could be for a member and non-member. If so, what is that advice?
Regarding fitness or just
anything in general? It could be from, fitness, mindset, nutrition, whatever you find to be valuable, whatever, Tamika, especially with your background, what would that advice be? If you're giving someone, let's say, back when you were a trainer and it's a new person, what would your advice be? And then for someone that's maybe been working with you and feeling a little bit discouraged, what is your advice for them as well?
For someone getting started, do not mold, model, emulate others around you. Learn and listen to your own body. Have a very authentic and transparent conversation with an educated trainer to pace you at an attainable and achievable level for your own goals.
I like that.
And make them realistic and very practical.
I like that.
And attainable. For anyone that's on the fence about anything, or they find their mind always going to something that is a remembrance, that is your message for you to stop ignoring and for you to exude in that calling, whatever it is. There's too many signs around this earth that gives you constant reminders of what your purpose is and what you need to replicate in this world regarding your purpose, because your purpose literally should be your passion that will bless you tenfold.
I like that. That's deep. That's really deep. I would have to say that is by far the best piece of advice I've heard. And I've done this for more than 200 episodes. So ladies, take no offense if you have been on the episode, but Tamika, that was really good. Like I even got chills from that one. So I want to thank you. I really do, for coming on here. And here's why. It's no surprise, especially inside our community in particular, and this could be anywhere else either. There isn't that many minorities that do what we do and really take care of ourselves from a fitness and wellness standpoint. So honestly, it means the world to me that you came on here, you shared your story in hopes to inspire others like us. So thank you so much for coming on today. That means a lot. And I'm inspired by you, believe it or not. And I'm hoping that, you know, there's someone out there that's listening or watching in today feels the same way as I do. So thank you so much, Tamika, for coming on. And then ladies, thank you so much for tuning in of another episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. Have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.